I'm Dr. Brandon Bascom, and in this workshop, I'd like to go over how I use badges from upBadger.com in conjunction with Canvas to greater engage my students. I used to use these skills pass-off sheets for my class piano courses. There was a box for every skill that I wanted my students to master. When they could correctly play the skill for me, I gave them a stamp with a fun Japanese rubber stamp that looked like this. When COVID hit, I tried doing it digitally for a while until I remembered hearing about Badger. It took me some time, some research time, some try and fail and try again time, but Badger is now up and running in my courses, and I want to show you the ins and outs of how it works. So if you go to upBadger.com, you will be redirected to info.upBadger.com, and here you can click on the Create an Account button. You're going to select the region for where you live, and it will ask for your email and for a password. I've already done this, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in. You can add a picture and a funny little line underneath, and you now have a Badger account. I want to hop over to Canvas to show you the Canvas end of things so you can see how to merge the two accounts. Okay, I'm in a class where I currently do not use badges, and I'm going to show you how to set it up so that I can start using badges. The first thing is to come to Settings on the left menu. You're going to want to go to the Apps tab, and here are all the apps that you can add. I'm going to add Badger US, Badger LTI for the United States. When I click on that, it brings me to this screen where I can add app. Now you can click on Add App, and it's going to ask for a consumer key and a shared secret key. You're going to have to go get these from the Badger account that you just set up. So back in Badger, to get the consumer key and the shared secret key, you need to come to the icon of your profile, come down to Privacy and Security, and click on this tab, App Integrations. Click on Canvas LTI, and there it gives you your consumer key, your shared secret, and a config URL. You can then copy your consumer key and your shared secret and paste it into Add App, and then click the Add App button. Okay, then you get the app was added successfully, and over on your left side now, once you hit refresh, Badges is now there on your left side. So Badger is now linked with Canvas, and you can begin adding badges. I create my badges using a program called Spark, Adobe Spark. And I want to show you how I do that. Adobe Spark is part of the Adobe suite that's provided to me by my district. So I log in with my school account. There's a similar program called Canva that a lot of educators out there know about and is free to educators. You could also use that program, but Adobe Spark works great for me. So I'm logging in with my company or school account, and I'm into my Adobe Spark account. Here's a list of some of the projects that I've made for my Class Piano 1 course. Here's the badge that I give students when they learn their first piano piece, just so you get an idea. You can brandify your course or your program. You can play with logos, play with color schemes, make it even better. So for Rams Piano, I've got a logo. Okay, so I want to show you how easy it is to do something in Adobe Spark. So I'm going to come up here to the blue and white icon with the plus arrow and click on that. I can create graphics for certain social media outlets, for a web page, for video, a branded graphic. But I'm going to create a custom size graphic. According to Badger, the optimal dimension for a badge is 400 by 400 pixels. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And it's going to give me a blank canvas to work with. Now, I'm not much of a graphic designer, but there are a lot of templates you can use, and there are a lot of icons that you can search. You can upload photos, come up with different background templates, logos. There's libraries. Normally, I just use the icons. So if I come to icon and I type grand piano, I get a bunch of different graphics of grand pianos. So I can scroll through there and find the one that I like. I can click and drag it, or I can double click it. And there's my grand piano. Orange isn't really my color, so I can click that and change that to the Rams piano palette that I've pre-selected. Another thing that I like to look for in icons is a seal or a ribbon. And you got to be careful because sometimes you get seals and sometimes you get seals. Maybe I'll choose this one. All right, it's given me a nice seal here, so I can stretch that. Looks pretty good. Don't like the color. I'm going to change that to black. Can resize this. Over here on the left, I'm going to add logos. I've got a Ram from City College for Rams piano. I've got Rams piano as an icon. I'm going to add some text. I like these texts that can go in a circle. They're kind of fun. So I can kind of center my text, click on it, and stretch it. And then over here, I can change that to be the skill that they just mastered. So major scales, C, G, D, A, E. Stretch out my graphics a little bit. And there's a badge. It's that simple. It really doesn't take much. Some of the icons I've played with in the past include ribbons, like an award ribbon. Sometimes I put a ribbon across the top saying what the skill is. That's a good one. Over here in design, I can resize. I can play with the background, play with the colors. The other thing that I want to show you that's a lifesaver is you can order your layer. So you can move that to the bottom, move it to the top, so things show over or below. And that's pretty much Adobe Spark for you. Along with ribbons, I also sometimes look for trophies. That's a great one. You can change the color, design it however you'd like. Just for fun, I'm going to put in award and see what happens. So you get a medal, another seal, a trophy. So a bunch of different things that you can do to customize your badges however you'd like. When you're happy with your badge, when you're done with it, you can come over here to download, and you can download it as a PNG or a JPEG. You can also download it as a PDF, but I don't know why you'd want to. Badger's only going to be using the graphic files, so just for fun, I'm going to download transparent PNG file. So back in Canvas, to award badges, they need to be linked to modules. So I'm going to go here to modules. I'm going to create a new module. I'm going to call this Badger Test. This is actually in an up and running course of mine. So right now this is not published. And I'm going to create an assignment. And the assignment is major scales. And then what I need to do is I need to come here and edit my module. And when I edit my module, I need to add a requirement. And the requirement is that the students need to complete the assignment major scales, and they need to score at least 50 points on it, which is what the assignment's out of. For me, I use these for skill mastery assignments. So I want the student to be able to totally master the skill and get a perfect score. And if they do, they get their badge. If they don't quite master the skill, I could still give them points, but they're not going to earn the badge. So I'm going to update that module. And now you'll see over here on the right that it says that the students must complete one item. So back in Badger, I need to come back to my main screen here of my issuer page and create a badge. To do this, I'm going to upload the picture file that I just made under the badge image. And I'm going to say that this is for major scales group 1. And I need to come up with a description. And I need to come up with an earning criteria description. So in the description, I just give what this achievement is for. So this achievement is for being able to competently play major scales group 1, C, G, D, A, E. And then for earning criteria, I just describe what students must do to earn this badge. So the student must competently play the major scales, group 1, C, G, D, A, E for the instructor using the correct fingering. If you would like, it's optional, but you can click on this additional info tab and you can add an expiration date or you can add tags. So I like to add class piano, Fresno City College. You can add whatever tags you'd like there. When you're done, hit create badge. And it has now created that badge. Now that that badge is created, we can come back over to Canvas under badges, and it'll list all of our modules here. Here's the Badger test module that we created for this video. We can click on our down arrow button, and there is the badge that we created. So there's the badge. To get the badge, the student must complete the module. Now we can click on Progress, and it should show us all of our students' names. And notice that the picture of the badge is there, but it's grayed out. I've blurred my students' names here for FERPA. I can also click on Leaderboard. Make sure that that Enable Leaderboard box is checked, and it gives my students' names and a whimsical animal name that they'll be known by in the class. So just for kicks, here are my animal names for my students. I've got the exuberant barracuda, the authentic firefly, the gleaming albatross, the observant shark, the vociferous polar bear, the gorgeous crocodile, the bubbly flamingo, the ethereal chipmunk, the the energized orca, the poised alligator, the eloquent spider, the reflective duck, the sophisticated butterfly, the determined flamingo, the harmonious ram, the impartial wrasse, I don't even know what that is, a meticulous roadrunner, an elusive deer, and a daring seahorse. There is a little refresh arrow next to the animal name. So if you don't like your animal name, or if you don't even know what it is, you can become something else, like the elegant porpoise. So some of the students will figure out who's who as the semester goes on, but it's kind of a fun thing to do and see how it affects the class dynamics. Now, once my student earns one of those badges, it will now show up here in color. And under the progress board, it will also light up there in color. Here's an example of a past course that's been completed. Here are all the badges for all the modules that I set up. I can go ahead and click on progress. Again, I've blacked out the names of my students, but you can see the students that have earned all the badges, some of the badges, most of the badges, not very many badges. It shows up on this board, on the progress board, either lit or grayed out as to whether they've earned them or not. And then again on my leaderboard, they show up there as well. The lenient heron won first place. The influential tiger was in second. The dashing grasshopper was third. The zany rabbit got fourth. The zealous catfish and the hydraulic chinchilla didn't fare so well. So that's what it actually looks like in a class that's now completed. One thing I will say about Badger is sometimes it takes quite a while to load. I don't know why, but just be aware of that when students say, hey, I did this assignment, you didn't give me the points. If you go and give them the points and then you try to refresh, it can take a good amount of time before that badge shows up. So that's how I implement badges with Badger. Again, I have a module for each skill that I want the student to master. And once they master that skill, they're awarded that badge for the skill of that module. I hope this helps. If you have questions, be sure to send me an email. It takes a little bit of time, but the initial work is worth the initial investment because you can reuse it for multiple classes. Thank you for coming today, and I hope that this works out well for your classes.